as an entrepreneur and a business owner, I wear all those hats.
You wear all those hats.
So it's one of those things where you have to worry about how your people are doing, according to your expectations, if they're following what needs to be done. At the same point in time, operationally for the business, what's happening in the building, things along those lines. And then, of course, trying to make sure that you're not only planning for today, but now you're really responsible for everybody's livelihood. So you got to make sure you're planning for the future to make sure that you can continue to grow.
So with all that. All right, it's Marcus here with another episode with EIC, Entrepreneur Impromptu Conversations. I'm here at the local GEICO office. I have the esteemed privilege to be here with another guest, and he's going to introduce himself and go into his business.
Thank you for having me, Marcus. I appreciate it. My name is Craig Maitland. I am the agency owner of the GEICO local office. We're physically located here in Kenmore, but can service customers all throughout the state of New York. I've been in the insurance industry for 24 years, it's been now, but have owned my local office now going on 4.5. All
right. So dialing it back, where are you originally from?
So I'm actually originally from Queens, New York.
All right.
I started with GEICO in 2001, was hired after 9/11, and then sure enough, about 4 years later, GEICO opened up an office in Buffalo, New York, and I relocated here to help the growth of the Buffalo office.
Really? So you took the leap of coming from downstate New York and blew all the way up here to the Western New York.
Yep. As funny enough, when they announced that they were opening up the Buffalo office, I was immediately the first one to be like, I'm not going.
Okay.
But thankfully, one of my best friends actually moved up here and essentially convinced me to come visit. And I came to visit for a weekend. By the time I got back to the city, I reapplied to come up to Buffalo. So.
Oh, wow. So where did you go to school and how did you get interested in insurance, period?
So my school journey is interesting. I was actually an electrical and computer double major. Coming into college. Life basically happened. Lost a few family members, and so I readjusted. But as it turns out, I found GEICO through a job fair at school. And pretty much the rest is kind of history.
Where'd you go to school?
So originally I went to school at Polytechnic University down in downtown Brooklyn. Basically changed my major, and so at this point I graduated from SUNY Empire State with a major in business management and economics.
Got it. What was it like growing up in New York City?
It was phenomenal. I mean, it's an experience for sure. The diversity, it's literally the city that never sleeps. So essentially, you have so much to do, so many options, and you kind of grow up very fast down in New York. And so being in Buffalo, definitely a slower way of living, more relaxed, which is, I guess, at this stage in my life, I'm thankful for.
So you have, besides running this office, you have a family.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
So I've been married 16 years. I actually met my wife at GEICO.
Really?
Yep. Part of the reason why I stayed here. So we've been married 16 years, and we actually have a 12-year-old.
So she's from Buffalo?
Yep. She's from Amherst, and so it makes the decision easier to stay when she's from here. So.
Got it. So you have the big corporate running of an office to running your own office.
Yep.
What is the difference in the day-to-day activities from being in the corporate setting to being in your own office?
Yeah, I actually told a good friend of mine this. I have technically less responsibility, but it is a lot more chaos when you own everything.
Okay.
So when I was a manager in corporate, at one point I was usually generally managing about 100 people, 110, but at one point in my career I was managing almost 187. So a lot of responsibility in making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do, following processes and procedures, making sure that they're experiencing the right level of support from the company. If there was something that happened in the bathroom, well, then there's facilities for that. If there was an HR issue, there's HR for that.
Okay.
And so as an entrepreneur and a business owner, I wear all those hats.
You wear all those hats.
So it's one of those things where you have to worry about how your people are doing, according to your expectations, if they're following what needs to be done. At the same point in time, operationally for the business, what's happening in the building, things along those lines. And then, of course, trying to make sure that you're not only planning for today, but now you're really responsible for everybody's livelihood. So you got to make sure you're planning for the future to make sure that you can continue to grow.
So with all that weight on your shoulders, taking a leap of faith from corporate, everything is taken care of, to where you now have to have that responsibility on your own, running your own office. If someone wanted to do that, what would you suggest for them to be successful? Yeah,
what I would say is it may seem, well, I guess I'll put it like this. The immediate thought is like you have to do it all on your own. Okay. But it is so important to have a support system around you. So, for example, when I came into this, I know insurance, right? Okay. I know how to run a business, but I don't know how to be an entrepreneur. And so one of the first things I did was reach out to SCORE. And so I have a SCORE mentor. Okay. Who basically walked me through the process, was a good listening ear. And even though my business is 4.5 years old, I still meet with him every 6 weeks at this point.
Everybody needs a mentor.
So having him as a mentor was great. Having my friends that, that are in business be a great support. There's a friend of mine that he's an entrepreneur. He owns a business, multiple rental properties, and he and I sat down for about a good half hour, and he was just like, the first thing I'm going to tell you is you got to make sure to carve out time and take care of yourself. And that is one of the most important things.
Sometimes you schedule everything, but scheduling time with yourself is something that we tend to forget as entrepreneurs.
Correct. And there are many times when I have to remind myself to do that, but I lean back to that conversation. And so the first thing I would say is, go make sure that you have a good support system around you, because there are going to be times where you may not even realize it, but you will need to lean on somebody just for guidance, just to be a listening ear or whatever have you, because it is a chaotic world. Right? Oh yeah. You think the day is going to go one way and it can go 15 other different ways.
Yeah, you're right.
And so being able to have people to help ground you is going to be critical.
Got it. So you decided to go on your own. Obviously, GEICO has some type of training program that you had to go through. Yep. But where did you get the people that now are your support system here in the office? Yeah, so that's a good point. On the hiring front, I've been pretty lucky. So when I first started my office, I brought a manager with me. Okay. And so she was able to help me through the recruiting process. She knows my thought process and everything like that. And as it turns out, one of my salespeople that's here right now is a result of her referring them to being a salesperson here. Okay. Was a great fit. And so on my end, at this particular point, when I go to hire someone, I really end up using a resource to post a job on different aspects like Indeed. So when I was thinking, I'm about to say LinkedIn, but Indeed and whatnot, go through a system to try to find the right person. But as it turns out,
one of my employees ended up finding through Facebook, who was a former employee of mine in corporate.
Okay.
And basically reached out and was like, hey, I see you have something up. So thankfully, I would say Indeed and utilizing that resource is great from a branding standpoint, helping people understand that I'm hiring and whatnot. Being that GEICO is such a big brand, a lot of times when I put a post up, they think that it's corporate that's hiring. So I always have to differentiate that. But word of mouth has been great. Having prior people that have known me is also helpful. So social media has been great as well. And then even my employees telling friends and family also ends up being a good mechanism for recruitment. So
that is good. So what's the difference between dealing with you and dealing with GEICO, the big conglomerate?
Yeah. So
what's the benefit?
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll say the difference between corporate and a standard GEICO local office, and then the difference between the corporate and then my local office, because it is different. So we basically are independent contractors with GEICO, but we work on the same systems. So the main difference is, whereas generally people expect to go online or just call a call center, when you call a GEICO local office, you're going to get a similar experience, but an actual person, face to face in your area that you can work with and count on. I like to tell folks that there's one level of service that you get when you're never going to talk to that person again, versus a level of service that you're going to get that if they mess up, you can go right into their office and see them face to face.
You mess this up, what are you going to do about this?
Exactly. So that's going to be, I would say, one of the biggest differences between working with corporate, which is still great, but then also the extra level of service that you're going to get with a local office. Then from my standpoint, I actually bring a different level to the table because I have over 15 years of management experience at GEICO. So not only do I know the rules and procedures, if there's something that I don't have access to or the authority for, there are folks that I can reach out to in corporate that I've had relationships with, or even
on the back end.
Exactly. Plus, in addition to that, I've been in insurance long enough to where the rules and regulations of different states and whatnot. At one point in my career, I was licensed in every state but Hawaii, and so it's like you learn a lot having so many different
about you, man.
I actually gave up a lot of my licenses in coming to do this to focus primarily on New York. So again, it's one of those differences. There are times when, a customer may have needed something, and if I needed an underwriting decision to be done, I'd call up, the underwriting manager for New York State.
Mr. Intel.
Not everybody could do that. So, you try to lean on certain advantages that you have at your disposal and utilize every resource for the customer to help them. So. Got
it. So in doing that, what fuels your passion in the insurance industry, or just being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, to me, similar to, I go back to my background in computer and electrical engineering. I love solving problems. And one thing that I think really hit me and has attracted me and kept me in insurance is that a lot of insurance is not cheap, especially in New York State, right? But I think most consumers, they know what they pay for the insurance, but not necessarily know what they're paying for. And so I've always been passionate about trying to help people get the best value out of what they're paying, and if I can help them in any which way and give them guidance to prevent future issues, then it's my obligation to do that. And thankfully it's not just myself, but it's trickled down to my entire team.
Got it. So someone calls you, what is the typical workflow for someone who's trying to get a competitive quote?
Yeah, what I would say is realistically, an insurance company doing a quote with you is like speed dating. They're trying to get as much information about you as possible to try to figure out what type of risk you are. And so essentially the workflow is going to be trying to get information about you, like where you live, your date of birth, and different things like that, marital status and whatnot, to get a picture of what you may need for coverage needs, then clearly understanding what type of vehicle you may have, whether or not you own a home, because homeowners, they operate a little bit different than a renter may do, and then getting an understanding of your history. And so you generally, in those three buckets, when I have a good setup of where you fall on those things, then from there I'm able to determine what type of risk you are, get a rate, and then from there, either one, try to see if there's different ways, discounts that you're not taking advantage of, and walk you through that and educate you on them. Or even it could be a situation where I'm coverage counseling you to tell you may need additional coverage for something.
Got it.
And so that's where the nuance kind of comes in. It's like most people go, okay, what's the price? And in my mind, I'm going,
what's the
price? The price is going to be there no matter what. It's just a matter of what the value is going to be for the price that you're paying.
Now, for someone who has had insurance, they get it, they get the coverage, they don't think about it. What should one know to get the best use of the different policies that they have?
Yeah, I would say the best use of their policies. I would say the first thing is one thing that really helps when it comes to insurance is maintaining your insurance. So it's like once you get it in place, the longer you have an insurance policy, the more you're building a history.
Okay.
And so even if you happen to sell a car, well, as it turns out, there's policies available that you can actually have insurance to cover you as a driver.
Okay.
Even when you don't have a car.
Okay.
Right? So by you maintaining that actually is helping you maintain insurance. So I would say the first thing is once you get insurance, try to keep it in place. Don't have it cancel, different things like that. Okay. The second thing would be a lot of times, again, people think price. So they go, customers tell me this all the time, I want state minimum.
Okay.
And so as it turns out, yes, that's the minimum that the state requires in order for you to drive, but it doesn't put you in the best position to protect yourself for what you're paying for. And so making sure that you're not only just getting a quote for, if you're that person thinking about the state minimum, you actually want to think, how do I better protect myself? And what is the price difference going to be?
Okay.
So I would definitely say my guidance would be, don't just think about, minimums on things and the minimum price. Make sure that you're actually getting what is the best value for you for it. And then the second thing, once you get it in place, do your best to make sure that you're paying your premiums on time and that it doesn't cancel.
So for someone, my son is 10 right now, so I got some years to go. How do you prepare for having a minor driver and not have to pay out of the wazoo for your insurance premium?
Yep.
How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, I'm actually working to put together a community class on this very situation because I get both sides of the spectrum. Some parents, will go through the process of like, you now have your license, you're buying your own car, you're paying your own insurance, and then some parents take a different approach.
Okay.
I would say exposing children to the importance of safety is key. Taking it when they get of age to get like a permit and whatnot, having them participate in like a driver's ed course is going to be pivotal so that this way they can learn the rules of the road.
Okay, and is there some type of lifelong discount that a kid can get if they go through a driver's course? Yeah,
so it's many companies provide a driver training discount to help offset the rates that come with teen drivers. Maintaining good grades, there's good student discounts if many keep a B average or better. So insurance companies understand the risk of when you have a youthful driver. I'm just going to be honest, they unfortunately come with higher accident frequency and risk, and also they're inexperienced. They're now getting their license. They're inexperienced. They don't have the same experience of you and I being on the road, and so more accidents do occur. And so to help offset that, insurance companies will do their best to try to provide different discounts. Like, did you take driver's ed? Do you have good grades in school? So many companies do have driver training and good student discounts to try to help offset those rates.
What are some of those other discounts that is offered to experienced drivers that some people might not be aware of?
Yeah, so there's whether it be good driver discounts, like for GEICO specifically, we have like a 5-year good driver discount in place. There are certain legacy renewal discounts that will benefit drivers who don't have any tickets or accidents and who maintain continuous insurance. Some companies offer a homeowner discount if you're a homeowner. There's multiple discounts that are available to try to help subsidize a rate if the customer qualifies for it.
Got it. So besides the insurance world, what makes Craig tick?
No, it's mainly, you know, when I'm not working, it's all about pouring that energy back into my family. So I do what I would taken the step of opening this office and committing to staying in the Western New York community because my wife and I love it here, and we didn't want to leave. And so now having this office, it provides me the opportunity and the flexibility to spend more time with my family, be present. And so that's really what helps me tick, is that you know, ultimately everything that I'm doing for my family.
Wow, that is cool. What type of hobbies do you find yourself?
Yeah, so hobby-wise, I'm huge into sports. You know, if I'm not watching sports, I'm playing it. Essentially, what else? I'm hanging out with friends. As we've gotten older, we've grown to appreciate the time that we spend together. You know, on my end, I'm also, I've been trying to get into like reading more. Pretty boring guy outside of work, but it's usually like, you know, when the weekend comes, my son's involved in some type of sport, so I'm running there, and then by the time I get home, I'm a couch potato ready to just relax, you know.
I got it. So obviously you have on a Sabres jersey.
Yep.
So what's your take on what's happening with the Sabres now?
I think it's really special for Buffalo, and I'm just trying to go along with the ride.
Myself included.
Yeah, when it hit me that it's been 15 years since they've been in the playoffs, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, you try to think back 15 years ago and what life was like. This is a really special time, and I'm really excited for what's happening, and you know, the excitement even in the community has been great.
Yeah, I see in the office there's several Sabres things. I mean, has that drawn people to the office because of the camaraderie?
I would hope so. I would hope so. But yeah, we definitely try to show our colors here, in rooting for the Sabres, and during football season rooting for the Bills.
Yeah, I'm a Bills fan too.
Yep.
I hope that the Sabres win.
Yeah.
You know, because the other team that's always winning, what's that? The Bandits.
The Bandits.
You know, I'm hoping that the Sabres can rise to the occasion, and then that same camaraderie will pass on to the Bills. We need to go to a Super Bowl and actually complete the task.
For sure.
So usually toward the end of the podcast, I ask my guests to do a 30-second pitch speaking to the camera.
Okay.
For individuals that may be looking to get your service, you know.
Yeah,
take absolutely. That opportunity to do so.
Sure, appreciate it. So again, my name is Craig, agency owner of the GEICO local office. Many people, when they think about GEICO, they think about an online service or calling a call center. We are right here in Buffalo, in your community, and so feel free to reach out to us for any of your insurance needs, whether you have GEICO or not. Our goal is to make sure that we not only try to save you money, put money back in your pocket, but then also make sure you get the best bang for your buck in the process of doing so. And we're honest people here, so if we're not going to be the best solution for everyone, and we have no problems admitting that. So if we're not the best for you, we will admit that to you, and then also try to see if we can provide you guidance based on our experience on who may be a better fit. But based on our track record, we've done a pretty good job at being able to help folks. So again, Craig Maitland, GEICO local office. The office phone number here is 716-517-3300.
Thank you so much for taking this time out of your busy day. It's a Friday, and I appreciate you trusting that I wouldn't guide you in the wrong way.
No,
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being a guest, and I look forward to helping you build your business and continuing to thrive in the Western New York area, because I didn't know that you were committed to being here. Now that's something that I'm a Buffalo native. I'm born and raised here. So for individuals who are from New York City, when they compare the two, they're like, well, New York City is better.
When I tell you, when I moved here, and not too long after I moved here, I called all my friends and told them that they needed to move.
Okay.
To me, New York City is great, but there's definitely something special about Western New York that I've never seen anywhere else.
All right. And what is that?
It's mainly the people. I'll never forget when I first moved up here, I walked into a Wegmans and, you know, a lady said hi to me and I was just like, the New York City in me came out, you know, like, wait, this is weird. But people are so authentic and genuine here. And, you know, just like what you're doing, I appreciate it. People are always looking to help others. And again, you don't really find that everywhere. You know, it's something special. So
city of good neighbors.
It is. It absolutely is.
And to hear that come from somebody that's from New York, you know, and experience the, you know, because everybody loves New York.
Of course.
You know, I consider it a nice place to visit. But to try to raise a family, you have to have a high class paying job. Otherwise, you're going to be living in Matchbox. But I appreciate the sentiments. I also call Buffalo the boomerang state. Most of the people that grew up and say, I want to get out of here, they leave and they come back. The food, you know, the people, and just it's something special.
Again, it's always hard to just like to pinpoint it because there's so many different ways you can go with it. But you know, it is a very, very special community.
Thank you so much.